Okay guys, found this video on YouTube today. Apparently Kentucky State in the United States finally has seen the light when it comes to joint custodial privileges, non-privileges when it comes to children. So anyway, let's get into the video and let's enjoy this.
Divorces in Kentucky just collapsed by 25%. Not because couples suddenly found love again, but because the cash-out game is over. For decades, divorce was treated like a jackpot. Mom walked...
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Women have been cashing out so much on this, so badly, and fathers have just literally had their children 1 hour, as little as 1 to 2 hours a week, and expected to pay so much. And I think this works the other way as well. I think if it has been like 50-50 time on the kid, the father still is having to pay full child support like he's never seen the kid. But anyway, yeah, cracking on.
Walks away with the kids. Mom walks away with the check. And Dad? He's reduced to a weekend visitor and a paycheck.
One state just nuked its divorce rates by doing one rare thing that the rest of America would never dare.
And there is a real danger that the divorce rate is going down because it's harder for women to leave.
If I had...
Yeah, this is it as well. Women thought, oh, the grass is always greener. But it's like harder to leave. What do you mean harder to leave? If you're starting to make a family with a man, you stick with the bloody man. It's not one of those where you just literally, just go back, just literally go and say, oh, I've had enough now, but you're paying for everything. It shouldn't work like that. It's not fair on the men. It's not fair on the children. And this is why a lot of single moms raise the kids up, and the kids have got absolutely no idea on what they should be doing. It's one of the major factors in the OnlyFans epidemic in my idea. There's no male role model, so they can't actually get any morals given over by a father, so they don't know what to expect from men. All they get is what women are telling. And this works for both ways, especially, and even for boys. Boys now no longer know how to be a man. All they've had in their life is a feminine influence from the mum. And so it's like, oh, men are, and we always get this because the mum will be always slating the dad off, regardless. And so the boy will be thinking, oh, it's bad to be a man. But I don't think it is. But anyway, keep on going.
Not paying full support. Like I'm not even around. I'm feeding them, clothing them, taking them to school, wiping their tears, just like she is. But somehow only I have to pay up.
Yeah, there we go. This is what I'm about.
It punishes it.
Kentucky flipped the script. They became the first state in America to pass a law making 50-50 custody the default. And the moment that happened, something incredible and honestly terrifying for some people was exposed. When women realized they could no longer cash out through the courts, divorce filing dropped overnight. A full quarter.
Yeah, this is because women know if they're not going to get the money or extra money from the father or from the ex-partner, it's like they do a lot of alimony as well over there. But literally, if they are expecting, oh, I'll be better off financially, I can get his money and not even have to be with him. This is what they're thinking, and I can do this, then I can go out, I can do this, I can do that, I can have whatever man I want, yeah, it is what it is. But anyway.
A few divorces in one state compared to just 18% nationwide. Men call it fairness. Women's group, they call it dangerous.
Yeah, well, they would.
And that clash right there between fairness and fear is why this story is exploding.
There are reports coming out of Kentucky that the divorce rate has completely plummeted. 25%. It's gone down 25%.
Well, it's about time, really.
That's significant. When the divorce rate nationally rests, I think a little bit above 50%. To have it drop 25% in one state means to pay attention. It's a reason to pay attention.
And here's the kicker. The money numbers prove it. Before this law, a dad making $4,000 a month would be forced to hand over nearly $10,000 a year in child support. After the new law, that drops to maybe $200 a month. Sometimes...
Wow, that is a big drop. So basically, when a woman's had enough of a man, in most of America, a man is basically spending 2.5 months of his entire wage for the year on nothing, just to support his, it's just support his kid anyway. But if it's a 50-50 thing where he's got the child just as much as the mother's gaining 2.5 months of free money, pretty much, or 1.25 months, whichever way you want to see it. It's very on one side, or has been up until Kentucky. So good on these guys.
0. We're talking about a $7,500 swing in every year. Plus, something even bigger. Half of his child's life back. I'll break down that math in just a moment, but...
Yeah, this is what we're saying, half the child's life back. The father hasn't been there, so now all of a sudden it's 50-50. It's got enough influence from the mother and the father now, and both parents are going to be doing stuff with the child now, instead of it just being the mother hiding the child away from the father, which happened to me as well, did this, so... But, yeah.
First, let's talk about why this single change sent shockwaves through the divorce industry. Because, let's be real, if divorce filing dropped by 25% the second the financial jackpot disappeared,
it shows it.
What does that tell you?
It's showing the women are trying to get the money.
Have been told, no, it's not about the money.
Bullshit.
Women just aren't happy. But the data speaks louder than the excuses.
Yeah, of course it does.
As soon as the reward for leaving was gone, so was the rush to file divorce. And that's why this law is stirring up a storm. Fathers say it's justice. Critics say it's a trap. Women's groups are arguing that it locks moms in marriages and puts kids at risk. But let's look at the bigger picture. Florida, Arkansas, West Virginia, Missouri, they've already followed Kentucky's lead. And right now, over 20 more states are considering it. This isn't just about Kentucky.
So therefore, the rest of the country's finally seen what is going on. The justice system is finally clicking on, and this is a good thing. Not just for the mothers. It's for the fathers, for the children, for the entire family group as one. If all three are still having to coexist to a certain degree, it means the mother's not going to be slating, or hopefully as much, mother's not going to be slating the father off as much, and vice versa, the father's not going to be slating the mother off. So sometimes they may even go out together as a family unit and be able to do that without any nastiness. I mean, not to be together or anything like that, I mean the mother and father, but just as a family unit, and that is what kids need, they really do. So
this is the beginning of the end for the divorce cash-out system.
Yeah,
the critics
definitely
say this law puts women and children in danger. But when you actually look at the facts, and when you see how much the system was really built on men's wallet, you'll understand why this law isn't just saving families. It's exposing the truth about modern divorce.
Yeah, it's all about money.
I don't think it's necessary. We split her 50-50. She's at my house just as much. She's with me just as much, if not more.
I would say that's probably an argument for her to pay me. If we're splitting 50-50,
Exactly.
I shouldn't have to pay all of it.
Stop the cat. This man just cooks her there. Right there, she's saying, I want more money because I've got her half the time. From what I'm gathering from this, I haven't actually seen this clip fully, but she's trying to get more money and he's saying, well, she's with me more. She's with me just as much, so shouldn't I be playing less, or shouldn't she be paying me more? I don't know, because I didn't know where the child was at this point, so, but anyway, we'll keep on going.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, so you kind of like told on yourself. So you ready to move forward with the numbers? Sure. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get ready with the numbers. So it looks like you make, like I said, $100,000 a year. Do you work overtime or is that regularly?
Wow, she's getting $100K a year and she's still wanting more. The greed of these women. The greed of these women is disgusting.
What do you make?
No, I work overtime. But
Okay. And does that include overtime?
yes, ma'am. It's a salary position, so it's just straight up.
The typical story looked like this. Dad makes about $4,000 net income. Mom gets the kids 80% of the time. Dad gets every other weekend and maybe one dinner during the week.
Yeah.
Under those guidelines, child support lands around 20% of his income. That's about $800 a month, nearly $10,000 a year, gone. And remember, that's on top of insurance, school costs, and extras he still has to cover.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just that. There is actually extras on top as well. So they say it's 10,000. So literally, it's more than 2.5 months of his salary. Then it is, and he's getting it every other weekend and possibly a dinner every month. That is ridiculous. He's losing more than 20% of his actual income for having less than 20% of the child's life in the child's life. It's just morally bankrupt.
Now, after 2018 with 50-50 custody as a default, same dad, same income, but now he has his kids half the time, which means child support gets offset. Instead of $800 a month, he might pay maybe $200 to $300 a month. In some cases, if mom makes close to the same amount, he pays nothing.
Yeah,
Zero.
exactly. It should
That's not just $7,500.
It should go on offset of what each parent is actually earning. And if they're earning similar, nobody should pay nothing, because half the time when the father's got the child, he's paying when the child's there, and vice versa with mother. But if the father's making more, or even the mother's making more, there should be an offset so it's equal for the child no matter where they're staying that night. They've got the same things, they've got the same benefits. That's how I think it should be.
$100 a year staying in his pocket. That's also half of his child's life back. He's not just a paycheck anymore. He's a parent again. And this is where things get heated. Because if you think men celebrated, you're right.
Yeah, I'd celebrate too.
Women's groups, they lost their minds. They say
Typically
this law traps women in bad marriages and puts kids in danger. But when you actually look at what people on the ground are saying, the story looks very different. Top male comment: if divorces drop by 20%, the second child support dries up. That proves it was never about happiness.
Exactly.
It was about the money.
All about this.
Another father says, for once, courts don't see me as just a wallet. This is the first time in decades I feel like an equal parent. A mom's comment: I'm in a Kentucky mom group, and women are literally deciding whether to leave their husbands based off of this law. It's hard for them now. Someone responds to, hard for them?
Hard for them?
You mean hard because they can't cash out anymore?
Yeah, no extra money.
This
That's
isn't
why it's
trapping
hard.
Women. It's finally equality. This is what makes this law explosive. For men, it's not just about saving money. It's about finally being seen as more than just disposable. For critics, it's the end of a system they quietly benefited from.
Yeah, this is another thing I think that's happened. Women have been trying to trap men literally to get a child off them just to try and get extra money. And then, I mean, there's so many videos out there where a woman will be in a car, oh, I've just got my first child support check, what should I buy for myself? Well, it's not your money, it's your child's money. It's, yeah.
For decades.
It's just wrong.
And that clash, fairness versus fear, equality versus entitlement, is exactly why this debate is spreading beyond Kentucky. Because here's the part no one wants to admit. If one state can cut divorce by 25% just by removing the financial jackpot, what happens when the entire...
It is going to cut court waiting times down as well. So there'll be less sort of like state lawyers, or even the father having to spend the rest of his yearly salary just to see his son or his daughter, because the courts aren't allowing it. You know, it's like father's wanting to have more time, but the court's just saying no. He's got to hire a lawyer over this. He's got to pay the lawyer. So the lawyers probably will be worried about this as well, so there'll be less work for them.
Country follows. Now, not everyone cheered when this law passed. Women's group came out swinging. Their biggest claim, that equal custody traps women in abusive marriages. What? They argue that judges sometimes overlook abuse unless the father directly harms the child. And yes, there's horror stories floating around.
Okay.
One mother said her husband nearly killed her. And just weeks later, a judge still granted him 50-50 custody. That story spread
Oh no, that I don't believe in. If it's a case of that, he shouldn't be seeing the kid, or if he is seeing the kid, it should be in a contact centre once a month or once a week or once every 2 weeks. That I do not agree with. Literally, if the father's a twat, and I'm saying it, and beat either the mother up or the child up, it should be a lot more supervised, because he's clearly not a person that can be trusted.
Like wildfire. So, critics are painting this law as dangerous. Not just unfair, but unsafe. And on the surface, it sounds scary. But when you dig deeper, you realize something else is going on here. Exposing the gray areas. Here's the truth. Okay. A lot of what gets labeled domestic violence in family court falls into what lawyers call the gray area. Things like yelling during an argument, breaking a dish, punching a wall, even blocking a doorway. In California, smashing a glass in the middle of a fight can be treated as DV. Now, I'm not saying those behaviors are good, but should a dad lose custody of his child because he raised his voice once or broke a phone in an argument? That's exactly what used to happen. Before Kentucky's law, those gray areas claimed could tilt custody completely in mom's favor.
Yeah, like I said, if it's violent, non-violence towards any person, it's just venting, breaking something. Yeah, granted, not a good thing to do, especially around a child. But maybe that should be a probationary period of contact centres at this point, if it's any sort of violence like that, and then, but with the initial thing that, you've got probation, but to literally get up and have the child 50-50 eventually, prove yourself. And maybe he's actually acting like this because he's in a bad relationship with a woman, or vice versa, a woman's in a bad relationship with a man. Because I know it does go both ways, but in America primarily it is the mother that gets the child and the father's got to pay.
Equal custody stopped that. Judges now start at 50-50, meaning those small ambiguous incidents don't automatically strip a father away from his children.
So most of y'all know by now that I had a restraining order put on me after 4 years. That's 4 years after the first custody bout.
4 years after? That is ridiculous. That is literally a woman there holding on to the investment of the child. And he's come back trying to get more custody of the kid, and she's doubled down. It's ridiculous.
The whole reason why I got a restraining order thrown on me was because I did videos like this. I spoke up explaining why men are giving up on their children, why, just pretty much why, because no one...
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is what's happening in England a lot as well, but with vast, not with children, but with laws in general. You can, if you're a Christian, you can't say anything bad about Islam. It is absolutely ridiculous over here in the UK, and it's not just about race. Well, about religion. Sorry, we're on about so many things. The illegal immigrants are getting priority, even in law cases, like the Epping Hotel, where the council of Epping literally had the hotel forced to shut down. And then the government went behind the Epping Council's back and literally got it reinstated. And they then stated, the immigrants' rights supersede the British public's rights, which, I can't really get into a lot of this because I'll probably get into trouble, so moving swiftly on.
No one cares why, but if I keep speaking, enough people will start listening to where I can try and get through to some people's heads.
So basically this man...
And here's what's wild.
...is wanting his child and trying to get people to know.
The same people who call this law dangerous are the ones who spent years shouting about equality. But the second equality means women don't get a financial advantage. Suddenly, it's oppression. I'll show you what real equality looks like.
Typical woman.
And why kids actually do better under shared parenting. But first, let's check the pulse of what people are really saying. Fathers comment. This law saved my relationship with my kids. Before, I was a visitor. Now I'm a dad again. Mom, this is the death of a family system. Women and children will suffer. Male response, death of a system, no. It's the death of your free ride.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the core battle right now. Fathers see this law as justice, finally leveling up the court system that treated them like second-class parents. Critics see it as patriarchy, a rollback of leverage in marriage. It is so emotional, it's simple. When you take away the financial reward for divorce, you expose what divorce was really built on. Let's zoom out for a second, because while the critics are shouting about danger, the research paints a completely different picture. Study after study show that kids do better with shared parenting. They perform better in school. They have fewer behavior problems. And they grow up with healthier views of relationships because they didn't lose a parent in the process. In fact, one of the most powerful comments I saw was from a father who said, "For the first time, my kids don't feel like they're visiting anymore. They feel like they actually live with me." That's not just a financial win for men.
Wow, yeah, no, that's good.
That's a generational win for children.
Yeah, exactly. It's the children that are now winning with this one. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, the mum and dad need to suck it up, especially the women, especially when they're trying to make just nothing but money. The men are just wanting to see the children, and the kids are the winners out of this because they're getting both parents back again.
And here's the part that's going to flip the divorce industry upside down. This isn't stopping with Kentucky. This law is spreading fast. And when it goes nationwide, the system built on cashing men out may not survive. As of this year, 20 more states are considering similar bills. Wow. Judges and lawmakers are calling it the new standard of equality. One Kentucky judge put it perfectly. You can't write laws for all families based off the worst case scenarios. And men knows what...
Yeah, exactly. So it's all been lumped as the worst case scenario. Every man's the same, and the women groups have been pushing this. And this is why the system's been literally turned and bent for a woman. But hopefully, the way it's looking,
what
no
this
more.
Means. If one state drops divorce by 20%, shook the system? Imagine what happens when dozens of states follow. We're talking about billions of lawyer fees gone.
Yeah,
child support revenues slashed, and an entire divorce industry scrambling to survive. One father's comment, "This isn't just equality, this is finally justice. Every state needs this law." Critics comment, "This is the death of the divorce system. Women will be trapped."
Not completely.
Male response, "No, women aren't trapped. They're just not incentivized to blow families up anymore."
Yeah, exactly.
So, here's the truth men needs to hear. This isn't just about child support, it's about leverage. For decades, the divorce system gave one side all the power. The second that power was stripped away, divorce collapsed. And that's why this isn't just a local issue. It's the biggest cultural shift in family law in decades. Which raises...
Well, it's not just over in America. I mean, this is... If the model gets taken from America, this should be spreading. Because this sort of thing happens in England. It happens over in Europe. I'm not sure... I mean, I know Australia, New Zealand, stuff, places like that do, but I'm not sure about the Middle and Far East or Russia and China. I mean, you don't really hear too much about what's going on there. Or it doesn't come up on my feed anyway. Maybe I should need to research it, but as far as I know, the Western world may follow suit with this, and I hope they do.
This is the real question. What happens when the cash-out system collapses nationwide? Because, make no mistake, it's coming.
I believe that 50-50 is best, and I believe that there should be a presumption of 50-50 if there is no abuse history, there's no violent criminal history or other criminal history that would inhibit the person to parent the child, that there is no mental health issue that is going untreated, that would...
Yeah, I mean, I forgot all about the criminal activity. I mean, until this chap says, criminal and mental health, that's another one that... But there should also be things in place as well with those two to literally slowly get back in. If they're doing better in life, or the mental health properly medicated and they're doing well, there should be an outlet so they can actually start seeing the children more as well. start rewarding good behaviour instead of tarring them with a brush and that's it, they're like that forever.
Impact the child negatively. That there's no drug and alcohol issue that's not being treated that would impact the child negatively. That there is no major distance geographically between the parents that would make 50-50 unrealistic. And that there hasn't been a significant amount of time passed.
Yeah, but the 50-50 when it's geographical, it could be, instead of one half a week here, half a week there, it could be extended, it could be months at a time. And schools should be able to fall in line with that. I mean, it's a curriculum for a reason. So, granted, it might be a bit harder on the child when it comes to learning, but it's not impossible. I mean, the most important thing on a child is both parents in the child's life.
Since one parent has had contact with the child, like probably a year or more. I think if none of those are present in the case, then I think there should be a presumption of 50-50. I think it's what's best for the child.
So let's connect the dots. One state passed a law making 50-50 custody the default. Divorce rates dropped 25%. Lawyers panicked. Women's groups protested. Fathers finally felt equal. Kids got both parents back. And the divorce industry, it lost its golden goose. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. For decades, divorce wasn't just about broken marriages.
Making money.
It was a business model. A system that rewarded one side with custody, cash, and control, while the other side got drained. The second that system got disrupted, divorces collapsed. And that should make everyone stop and think. How much of modern divorce was really about love? And how much was about leverage? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all divorces are motivated by child support, money, or anything as such. Some people might be really trapped in a marriage from which the only way out would be divorce. But the bigger picture is that this isn't stopping with Kentucky, which means this isn't just a fluke. This is the future. And the people who built careers off of divorce industries, they know it. So, here's the real question. If taking away the financial jackpot cut divorce by 25% in one state, what happens when the whole country follows? Because make no mistake, it's coming. And when it does, the divorce industry won't just shrink. It'll collapse. For the first time in decades, fathers won't be disposable. Kids won't lose a parent. And women won't be able to cash out of marriage like it's a business deal. That's not oppression. That's equality. That's accountability. So, tell me, is this the beginning of a saving family? Or the end of an entire system built on men's backs? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation isn't ending anytime soon. And to better understand this divorce system, check out my latest video. It's been your girl Renee here. I'll see you guys in my next video.
Wow, not a bad video at all. And why is that going on to that? We're off. Yeah, okay, so finally, many in America are going to be saying finally, but what a good way to start. Literally, kids are going to get their parents back, both parents. That's the most important part of it, in my eyes. So I will drop a link down on the original video, because I'll probably subscribe to herself, so you can give her a look, let her have a bit of credit as well, because I'm just taking off of her. So yeah, thank you for that. Again, if you like this video, put a like, put a comment down, subscribe if you really need to, and if you want, and if you are subscribed, notify as well, so when I do drop another video, it pops up and you get to see what I'm doing. Okay, thank you very much. See you later on.